Inspirational Force, Female Entrepreneurs POV.
I'm Dr. Sara Jane. I'm a chiropractor from Australia. I came from Melbourne, so it just took me 24 hours to get here to be with you all. I'm so excited. And what do I do? It's hard to say with words what I do. I feel...
As crazy as it sounds, say it.
So what I do is I work with the energetic field. So I work with people and what's affecting them emotionally, physically, but I'm not touching the body. And the body moves, the body releases in a way that I believe the body is remembering to release trauma, to release emotions that have been stored in the body. And we work off the body because it's such a backwards way of thinking that you need to touch the physical body to impact the physical body. In fact, our belief system is it's actually occurred already in the field. So kind of like what Sara was saying, we work with the idea of, the universe, God, all of those things being outside of something bigger than us. And then we work with that. And it's very, very interesting. I suggest you all give it a go. We don't have anyone in Malta yet, though.
No.
But we do online sessions all around the world. So if you haven't experienced it yet, please do. It's called Spinal Energetics.
Yeah, so basically you lay down without even looking at her. Your face is down, and she goes over your body with her hands, and wherever she is, your body moves, but you're not seeing her.
Yeah.
So,
Have you seen something like that? Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's a returning home to self. So kind of like what you were saying, we get distracted by everything around the world, what matters, what doesn't matter. And whenever you experience this session, you just hone in on what's really important, and you become your true self, not who the world's told you to be, not what events have shaped you to be, but who you were actually meant to be. Yeah. And it's a really cathartic, beautiful experience. Some people are frightened of it. Hello. Some people, have you seen it? Yeah. Some people are frightened of it because it looks like the person's out of control, but that fear is the same thing that's keeping them where they are at. So you need love. Love's the opposite of fear. And in that love state and in that trust state, we can let go and move forward with our lives and be in the present moment, just like meditation, but
100%.
Through the energy field.
Actually, the body stores trauma on a cellular level in the cells.
Yes.
So when I had an autoimmune disease, and it's through energy, we released it.
Yeah.
I don't have an autoimmune disease anymore. I healed it.
Yeah.
So people always look outside while the answers are all inside.
Yeah.
You are a miracle machine. Your body's a miracle machine.
Exactly.
Your soul is a divine, powerful powerhouse.
Yes, and that's the other thing that's interesting about autoimmune conditions is they happen to 70% of the time in females.
Yeah.
And what they've noticed is that females who are more people-pleasing, people who put themselves last, people who want to look after everyone else, are more prone to autoimmune diseases. And that's why they're increasing at the moment, because women are trying to do everything.
Yeah.
They're trying to go to work, they're trying to look after kids, they're trying to look after partners, they're trying to do everything at home, then they're trying to look after themselves, and they're pulled in so many directions, and that's why autoimmune is so much on the rise as well. But it wasn't there at one point in time, so that it's possible for it to not be there as well at another point of time. And that's why we work with the field.
But also, I don't believe, my doctor told me I'll never heal from my autoimmune. He's like, live with it forever. I said, never. I don't accept it. I don't host it. I reject it.
Yeah.
And I got rid of it.
But that's also that belief system. With this work, we're changing people's beliefs of what's possible. Because if you looked at a session, you wouldn't think that was possible. And then when you start experiencing it and feeling that within yourself, your whole idea of what is possible in the world changes. Your perception changes, your belief changes, and then what's possible changes.
The limiting beliefs are gone.
Yeah, well, they have to be.
100%.
Because it's not rational.
Yes. Then I have next to us Kim. Kim, introduce yourself. Don't be humble.
Hello, Sigma people.
Wait, yeah.
My name is Kim Feenstra. I'm from the Netherlands. I am 39 years old. My life experience starts as a young girl because I grew up in a very physical abusive household. That was something between my mom and her second husband. Me, my mom, and my sister, we spent a lot of times in safe houses because our home environment wasn't safe to stay in. That gave me a fact that I had to be in 12 schools. So I'm used to live other places. And when I was 16, I ended up in a very negative situation with my first boyfriend. I got involved into prostitution when I was 16, so I was very, very young. I got out when I was 19 because I got discovered on the streets in Amsterdam through a model agency. And that's how my modeling career started in Paris. And from that moment on, my life was in another phase. I got married, I got divorced. I fell in love with another man. He got killed in an accident. So my life was at a very young age. It was very bumpy road. When I was 28, I got divorced, and I was already in the Dutch national TV because I'm hosting TV shows. I'm a model. I'm a photographer. At this moment, I own a podcast, and I run a beauty company. But to get there, it cost me a lot of trauma and healing. And I always wanted to become a mother. That was my biggest goal in life. And I became a mother when I was 35. But also that road wasn't easy because I became a mother of the wonders through IVF. I don't know if I know there's a lot of women, they have difficulty to having babies. So that also was a bumpy road. And now in my podcast, I speak a lot about it to help other women evolve and to empower other women to believe in yourself. And when I was pregnant, I decided I have to change because I understand that all the trauma, if you don't get rid of your trauma, you give back to your unborn child. And I wanted for him or her to be free. So when I was 35, I started to do all the trauma and healing for myself. And now I can say I'm still in the journey of getting healed. And because, life is just life. And the 1 month, everything goes positive, and the other month, everything goes negative. But it's what Sara also explains, is the way you take care of yourself. You carry yourself. And I believe that these days, women are getting weaker because of the society. Because there is a lot of pressure we have to do. We have to work, own a business, take care of our family, provide for our family. If you are a single mom, you have to take care of your child. You have to learn your child all the good parts of life and the bad parts of life. You have to release of your trauma. You have to make money to provide. And you also want to have a happy life for yourself. So it's a big thing to be a woman now these days. But I believe women are the most strongest and most impressive creators we have on this world, and we should take care of each other more. So that's why I started a platform on my Instagram, and it calls Share Your States. I don't have a lot of followers, just like Sara, but it's about 600K plus. And I share my platform with women because I believe that women, they have a very strong knowledge of life. And some women have the best amazing ideas, but they are not being seen and heard enough. So all these women that I share on my platform, they are not famous. There's just women like just women how they are. And I invited them to come to my photo studio, and I shoot a portrait of them, and they tell the story, I interview them, and then I post them online, and so they can inspire other women with the story, motivate other women with the story. It's just what you said. If you help one person, she can help the next person, and that's just a beautiful circle.
Do you know what's alchemy, magic? Is when you convert something into something else. What is wisdom? Wisdom is taking pain and converting pain into knowledge. So I've had a rough life. You've had a rough. Your story is very inspiring. But what we did is, what happens to you is not your fault, right? What you do about it when you're older is definitely your fault. If you sit down with your traumas and accept it and victimize yourself, that's not going to help you. That's not a way of progressing. But to take your pain and to turn it into wisdom, you become a converter, you become a machine, because you're changing. That's what they call quantum jumping. I don't know if you guys are familiar with quantum jumping. Quantum jumping is changing basically the reality. How do you change your reality? By changing the way you look at things, by changing the way you feel about things. If looking at a cup half empty bothers me, same cup, same water, I'll look at it half full. It's just switching your mindset to make yourself better, to impact how you feel. When I get bad news, I don't go and be bad to everybody. Then I am not an alchemist, I'm not a magician. But I take the bad news and I spread love. So now I'm a converter. I've changed my reality. I've changed my reality, the reality of people around me. So I'm so proud of both of your stories. You know, coming from I had abusive relationships. It's not easy.
I think we all have, which is what's interesting.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that every one of us has had trauma in our life, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs have had something difficult happen. So I'm proud of Kim for sharing what she shared. A similar background. I came from an abusive relationship as well. When I was 17, I was quite physically abused, and then my ex-husband and I, so I'm also divorced, we're all divorced as well, which is interesting. We couldn't have children.
Happy married, happy divorce.
Yeah, true. We couldn't have children, so we lost 5 pregnancies trying to have kids. So I had 5 miscarriages. So I've got number 5 there, which is my 5 pregnancy losses, and then my mum's last handwriting there. And she had an autoimmune disease, actually, an autoimmune brain disease. So she was fine. 1 minute, 24 hours later, was in a coma for the next 3 months, and she's brain damaged now at 68. She's still alive, but she lives in full-time care now and can't really function or participate in life. So I think one thing that you've heard that makes sense with all of us is that we're all fighters, and we all fought for something better, to have a better life. And we're all, I think, courageous in terms of sharing that. It's not easy to share with people what you've been through in life, especially when you look at all of us. You know, I just spent an hour with Kim, but there's no way I would have known that that was her story. I'm like, look how beautiful she is. She must have had an easier life than me. Look at this, look at that. We forget that we all have these lives that have contributed to the way that we are. And exactly like you said, trying to make lemonade out of lemons, I think is what we're doing.
And this is why never judge a book by its cover. Like, as she said, when she saw Kim, she thought Kim had it easy. She looks beautiful, she looks great. But look at Kim's story. And this is what life is about. We cannot just judge people because of the way they dress, of the way they look. Everyone has a story. Everyone goes through hardship. Everyone, like, you look at us. I was beaten up. I was locked in a toilet with no food, no water for months. Physically abused, mentally abused by a partner. You've been abused. You've been abused. You were like trafficked. Just, you know, but the only thing is that we're not special. We're not chosen, that we took that and we became better in life. Anyone can do this. And the reason why we speak on these panels, the reason why we share our stories, is to show you that you can do it too. You can either remain a victim for the rest of your life, or you can be your own hero. So this is what this is all about. Alchemy. Be a magician. Change your own reality. So, okay, I want to ask now, how do you see in being women in business, especially that it's a male-dominant world? And I'll drop a bomb now that ladies might not like me for, but the reason it's a man's world is because of women. Who raises these men? Who's the mother at home? Who is the woman that goes home and tells her son, when you grow up, you're going to work, you're going to find a wife, she's going to cook for you, clean for you, don't let her do anything, you're the provider, you're this, you're this. And then he grows up, he doesn't let his wife work, and we're like, look at the man. Who raised the man? And then the mother tells her daughter, oh, when you grow up, you don't have to work, you'll find a husband, he'll take care of you, you're a princess. Then she grows up not knowing her self-worth, not loving herself, not doing anything, depending on others. Who created that damage? Women. So I'm sorry, but women are 70% the reason it's a male-dominant world. Because we raise these men. And only when we change the way we raise our kids, we change the outcome of the world. So all of you are responsible. Even men with your children, you're responsible of raising your daughters and your sons in a way where they thrive in this world. yet balance their feminine and masculine energy. Because women, we're very spiritual beings, where their intuition, creation, men walk the earth to protect us on earth while we do the work up there. So you are our protectors, you are our providers, and we are the alchemists, we're the magicians here. We are the ones that bring intuition and creation. We all need each other. And this is what a lot of people don't understand, sadly. But what is your perspective on being a woman working in a male-dominant world?
For me, chiropractic. So I come from a chiro background, and then I did my postgraduate studies in Buddhism. And even in Buddhism, they've got rules around men and who's allowed to teach and what they're allowed to do in comparison to females. So it's everywhere. It's a worldwide thing. But for me, it gave me more of an oomph to be a visionary, because if you've seen my work, it's very outside of the box. Chiros don't really like what I do. Psychologists don't like what I do. So I don't really fit anywhere. But you have to be brave to feel what it did for me and how it can help people with their trauma and their life was enough for me to want to, I know it in my bones. So therefore it doesn't matter if someone sees it and says that looks like bullshit. It doesn't matter, because I know it's not. And the people I've helped know that it's not.
I've seen people see this
Yeah.
and go like, this is magic. This is
Yeah.
black magic. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It's a lack of education, and a lot of the time when
Yeah.
people see the movement, the last time a Westerners seen a movement like that, something like The Exorcist, you know, so they're thinking something bad's happening, that we're doing something to the person. What they don't realise is it's a remembering within the person. We're just facilitating something. And so for me, I'm proud to be a woman in business. I come from a single mother household. My mum, the way she brought me up was quite interesting, but I'm grateful for that. She let me be who I was, but she would always say things like, don't get married. You know, if you do, get a separate account. Don't rely fully on men. So these things came from a very early age. They've helped me, yes, but it's taken a long time to kind of unlearn those things and have my own viewpoint about not all men are bad, not all men cheat, not all men do this. And whenever you say all, that's when you know there's some work to do, and that you've got to bring in this idea that, you know, that's not true.
If you, look, the thing is, I want to say something important. If you, who practices manifestation, journaling? All right. So how much of you believe the bullshit you write on this? See, no hands. So the thing is, this is what happens. I sit with my girlfriend. I look at her journal. I want to meet the man of my dreams. I want the alpha male, the divine masculine that's going to save me. And she writes and writes and writes and writes. And then we go to have coffee. And then she's like, Sara, all the men are shit. You think the universe is going to give you, but the universe doesn't read your notebook, your beautiful diary. The universe gives you what you believe you deserve. So don't go write crap if you don't believe in it. You need to believe in it. If you say all men are bad, and then you journal, I love men and I want to meet the right, you're not going to get the right man, because you get what you believe. I want to get the business of my dreams. And then you sit down, you're like, yeah, but I'm never going to, how am I going to be a businesswoman? Look how many entrepreneurs are there. Guess what? The universe is like, yeah, don't give it to her. She doesn't even believe she's worth it. That's the law of the universe. It's what you believe you receive. But also, you said something important. You said unlearn. Wisdom is not learning new things. Growing up and getting bigger and better is not, hey, I'm learning this, I'm reading books. No, I don't care how many books you read. Wisdom is unlearning everything you've been taught, who you are, who you should be, how you should be, and discovering who you really are. We're all born with a blueprint. That's your name. That's what you eat. That's your religion, that's your business, that's your country, that's... Who am I without this blueprint? If you're not curious enough to go and investigate and go soul searching, who are you? You're just passing and leaving without knowing anything? Everything is pre-planned, premeditated, pre-given to you? Here, you're born, that's who you are. Okay, no. Go discover who you are. Kim, what do you think about women being in a male-dominant world?
Well, there is one thing my mom always teach me and my little sister, and she was always like, men, don't trust a man. And that become from her own trauma with men, because all her choices for men were men that she couldn't trust. So my journey with men was like, okay, I need to provide for myself. I need to be an independent woman. I need to be financial independent, because I cannot trust and rely on a man. When I ended up in the prostitution, it was a very difficult time for me. And when I get out, and the first time when I was in front of the photographer's camera in Paris, I immediately felt that this is my next journey. And you can have several journeys in life. It's not that the things that you are doing now in life, that's your journey and it ends with it. No, you can have, because life gives you several phases, and as a human, you're changing. I'm not the same person as I was like 10 years ago. And I believe my mom is not the same person as she was 20 years ago. So everyone is changing, the world is changing. So also the industry and the male-dominated industry in business is also changing, because women become more stronger because of men who tell them they cannot reach something or they cannot do anything. I believe that I always have to be taking care of myself, and that's the number one thing that I have to do, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, but you see, my mom always asks me, she's like, why are you always on healing retreats, and why are you studying how to be a healer? Why are you always in therapy? I says, because of you, you know. And then my mom's like, what do you mean? I bought you everything you wanted. I was so nice. I was this. I was like, well, that's not what love is. That's not what parenting is. And I have so much compassion for my family, because they did what they could with the knowledge they had. But who here is the black sheep in the family? How many black sheep in the family? Who's the alien in the family? Okay. Do you know that when you're different, you are the chosen one? Not egoistically chosen one, but you are the chosen one. The black sheep in the family are the ones that break the generational cycle, which means our families and ancestors and parents, they come from generations of denial. Everything is okay, pop some kids. Everything is okay, pop some kids. Grandmother was beaten up. No, it's okay. Let's not talk about it. Grandmother was abused. We're not talking about it. Denial, 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 until the black sheep decides to say, you know what? Enough. I'm going to take the pain. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to go through it, because I don't want to pass it to my kids. And that's how you become the new ancestor. That's how you become the new lineage. That's how you become the new family. That's how you build the new ancestors. You are the change your family needs. So don't dim your light if you're the black sheep of the family. You're not different. You're not weird. You're chosen to change things. It's a big task. Are you willing to take it or not? Because someone has to stop. Otherwise, we're just going to repeat itself. And just like Kim had to stop it so it won't go to her son, I had to stop it as well. My son went to healing with me. And I don't impose my emotions on my son just because his dad and I had a rough marriage. It's my business, not his business. So don't impose your traumas. Don't trust men. Don't trust women. Don't take your traumas and pass them to your kids. Don't take your belief system that you have with the mask you're wearing from your traumas and all of these things and impose it on your kids. Go do the freaking work. Go heal. Go. Be responsible. Change it. Be the ancestor. Be the lineage. And by the way, when you do the work, you free your ancestors as well, because you heal everybody in the circle, even the ones that passed. They're waiting on you. They're counting on you to do something because they couldn't. So I have so much compassion to my family, because that's the way to move forward, to forgive them, is to understand that they did not know any better. I know, and I'm not going to allow this to move forward, and I'm not going to allow the cycle to continue. And that's each and everyone's responsibility. It's never too late. My son is doing it. He is 9. He started when he's 4. My friend is in her 80s. She started to heal. My other friends divorced, 30-something. It's never too late to choose yourself. Healing is telling yourself, I love me, I honor my journey, I honor myself, and I'm ready for the next chapter. You can't cheat on your future with your past. You can't take the baggage from the past and move to the future with them. It doesn't work. It's heavy, no? Drop it. You've been carrying it for so long. So I'm so glad to be sitting with women like you, especially you are healing women. You are healing women in different ways. She's physically, energetically helping. You are with stories inspiring people in your social media. You could have been using your social media for so many other things, like any other influencers doing. But choosing to, me, do what I do, you do what you do, you do what you do, it takes a lot. And that comes from, I've been through it. I know how it feels to be hurt. I know how it feels to be through this. And I don't want anyone to feel it. Therefore, I'm dedicating my time and life to do that.
And I also believe it comes from peace.
Yes.
Because now I feel very in peace with myself, and it cost several years and a lot of trauma and bullshit and tears and everything. But now I can say I feel in peace, and I give it to my child, because you cannot keep punishing yourself for mistakes someone else did to you. So you have to overcome.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to give my son the best life ever, and not in materialistic ways, but more in give him the best emotional stability that I can give him, and I also owe him as being his mom, because I believe that he chose me to be his mom, and I chose him to be my son. And to being a mom is the best job ever. It's not a job. It's the best love I experienced ever. And he made me a better person, because he is the biggest mirror in my life. And I always say, if you have children in your family or of your own, and your children, they don't teach you about yourself and teach you how to be a better person, then you don't understand the values of life and what life is all about. So, to me, sitting here with these two inspiring women, and it's for me very special. And yes, thank you.
For me, I think we all have a very similar value system as well. And that value system of pure heart of wanting to give back, not to make this much money, not to do this, not to be big on this, but to have that pure giving of just not wanting other people to feel alone in what we felt alone in. I think that's a prelude to success as well. And, you don't have to be constantly pushing all this kind of idea of for these kind of things. It can come from your pain and from your life, and not to be ashamed of it, not to be embarrassed about it, to share it, and to do something better with it. And literally for me, it wasn't about changing the world. It was about changing one person's world. That was enough for me. But then it ripples. That person then has a family. That person then has friends. That person then has a workplace. Then they're a better person to those people. And it's this really big ripple effect. And for me, that's what makes me want to be peaceful at night. And we all have that value as well, wanting to be peaceful in who we are, and wanting to give from a pure place. And I think that is true success. And we're just fortunate enough that it's come in other forms as well.
Before we end, I'll leave you with one thought, okay? Healing and moving forward and moving from your traumas, any pain you've had in the past, it's the most important recipe out of healing, right? The most important step. You need to forgive yourself. I love every version of me. The one that was abused, the one that chose the wrong men, the one that chose the wrong business partners, the one that chose the wrong friends. I love every version of me. Because of her, I am the woman I am today. You cannot heal if you hate a version of you in your life that accepted or settled or stayed in a situation that didn't serve you. You cannot hate a certain you in a certain lifetime so you can heal. It doesn't work like that. Healing is not being angry and pushing a version of you out of your life. No, it's letting go with love. And anger, if any of you are harboring anger is like hating someone, but it's like if I'm, for example, upset at Sara, yeah? It's like I am drinking the poison and wishing Sara would die. This is anger in your body. Anger kills you. It doesn't affect the people around you, nor does it affect the people that hurt you. Let go with love. Accept I love myself in every version I was, in every situation I chose. And I'm sure Sara does and Kim does. In every situation, you loved yourself. And all of these fragments of me made me the woman I am today. So if anybody here today tells me, listen, I have a magic wand, I can move it and I will erase all your traumas. I say, don't even think. Because I had to go through all of this to become the woman I am today. You had to go through all of this because you had to be the person you are today. So next time you face something hard, instead of saying, why me? Say, what are you trying to teach me? Because everyone, even the bad people in your life, are your teachers. I'm thankful for every bad person in my life. Thank you. They're my masters. They're my teacher. They taught me so much. So next time anything happens, instead of saying, oh shit, why me? Say, what are you trying to teach me? And then you look at life differently. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. We had a big crowd today. Yeah. No, thank you so much. It's a complete honor. And we love Malta. It's the first time these ladies come to Malta. So if you guys want to say anything before you exit, because someone else is coming over. Sarah, go ahead. Kim.
Well, I say a lot of things, but always keep believing in yourself and get rid of all those traumas.
Thanks for having me, Malta. It's my first time here. I've absolutely loved it. But yes, exactly what Sara and Kim are saying. It is so important that you address these things that are holding you back from having the life that you want for yourself and what you deserve for yourself, and not just you, your family, your kids, everything that you come into. So if you haven't heard of Spinal Energetics, please go and take a look. And it's not a marketing plug. It's purely because I believe it helps people, and I want you guys, if you feel that this is resonating with you, to take a look at it. I've trained over 550 people around the world in this technique, so that it's not just me working with people, it's so that other people can have access to it. We've even got someone in Kenya, we've got people all over the world, so thank you. Oh yeah, follow everyone, so.
Find them on social media if you guys want to know more about them.
Yeah, social media, at Spinal Energetics or at Dr. Sarah Jane Cairo. And Kim, what's yours?
It's at K2IM. The 2 is believes for the key. Is the key to inspire you. It's in yourself. So your heart is the key to live your best life. But you have to understand how it works, how you unlock the locks from all the doors that are giving to you in life.
So that's K2IM. At K2IM. All right, guys, let's take a picture. Thank you.